Hi guys, so today I just want to talk really quick about some governor and state legislature primaries that are going to be going on next month, so June of 2025, in New Jersey and Virginia. These are very important because this is going to determine who's going to basically be the leaders of the state. And keep in mind, if there are enough people who lean a certain way, either more left leaning or right leaning, in most states, you can make an amendment to the Constitution much easier. So that's why voting matters, not just at the federal level, but also local and state. Locally, it matters because, in general, that impacts you on a more of a direct daily basis. State, same thing. State election matters because impacts also can also impact your life, specific livelihood, on a daily basis. Whoever is your mayor, locally speaking, can impact property taxes and funding for schools, things like that. With the state government, it can impact pretty much everything that works in the state. If you work for the state government as a state government employee, you can impact the pension. Uh, how many days you work from home. It can also impact how potholes are going to be dealt with, if they're going to actually take care of it or not. How fund is going to be allocated to education, public health, sanitation, etc. So all those things matter a lot. Don't just focus on federal elections. Focus just as much in the primary and general election for local and state as you do for federal, if not more. So this article is from April 30, 2025, so yesterday, from the Center for Politics.org. The governor's Part 1 Democrat starts as favorites in 2025 New Jersey and Virginia races. Not really a big surprise, especially considering the whole situation with Trump administration. Kind of, for at least people who are kind of in the middle, moderates, may not like Republicans that much right now. A lot of the Republicans have gone very extreme in terms of right wing to the extreme, not just socially, but even physically speaking. And that has really annoyed people. Trump destroying the uh the whole Wall Street market, just any type of investments have been going downhill with tariffs. For a lot of people, made it very difficult for people to be able to stay afloat with their retirement plans. And if you work for the federal government, many people losing their jobs or they got to work longer now because the pension may not be worth as much because of some agreements that are going on in the House committee. I'll make another video about that. They made a brief video that in one of the points I discussed about changes that may happen for federal government employees. They're trying to really reduce your benefits in terms of retirement, and that's not really good. And it's going to impact a lot of people, including people who haven't retired yet, but they're very close to retiring. So it goes all if impacts everyone depending on when you retire this year, if it goes through in Congress. So it's a big deal. But anyway, so this I found interesting. So the article already summarized the main points for us. While 2026 will feature 3 dozen gubernatorial contests, 2 states, New Jersey and Virginia, will elect governors in open seat races this year. That's why New Jersey and Virginia are very, very important to pay attention to. Even if you don't live in those states, it really matters because if it leans more right, that's more power to Trump. If it leans more left, that's less power for Trump and his administration and Republicans in general. We are starting our both 2025 contests with which are in states that backed Kamala Harris by nearly 6 points apiece, as leans Democratic. In New Jersey, Mickey Sherrill is a 10 years favorite for the Democrat nomination and Miss Crowfield, while 2021 GOP nominee Jack is a stronger favorite on his side. So some things I know a bit more than in New Jersey, Cali, New York, etc. I know more about a little bit more about those states and who's running than Virginia. I'm not too familiar with the state Democrats in that state, not as much as I am with New Jersey, Cali, New York, Philadelphia. Due to my job, I interact with people with same position I have, and those are I have more states I interact more with people, and we just discuss more what we can do based on based on state and federal law. So there's certain states I have more connection with and I have more of an idea of. So in my honest opinion, Cheryl is not that great for governor. It's best to keep her in the House right now. She's part of the House of Representatives, and it would be best to keep her there rather than remove. Because right now, Republicans have a really strong hold in passing laws in the House. Even though it's a slight hold, it's still a strong one, and you don't want to lose any Democrats. Two, she's more of a status quo Democrat. She's more at the level of Kamala Harris than at the level of even Phil Murphy, who's the current governor of New Jersey. And that's a problem. You don't want someone who just status quo, the typical Democrat. We had the issue with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz running for office, more to do with Kamala than Tim Walz, and we want better than that. So I recommend just keep her in the House of Rep and don't vote for her for governor. A lot of her policies I read through on her page, decent but not really progressive enough. They won't really help a lot of New Jerseyans. She's great at talking to Trump administration, doing things in Congress, but I don't think she'd be amazing as a governor. Just my opinion. My choice for governor, if I was able to vote in New Jersey and I was there, I would choose the mayor of Newark, Baraka, as I think he's a bit more progressive in some of his views. I react to video of him making a speech about suing the Trump administration due to the illegal actions or just going after undocumented immigrants with no due process. So he's very heavy about that. He does care about affordable housing. He has reduced, with some good, pretty decent laws and policies. He has reduced the crime rate in Newark. Has gone down the murder rate, the rape rate. So things have improved in that regard. And it's difficult if you can, govern the city of Newark or the city of Jersey City in the state of New Jersey. You can basically govern the entire state. Let's be honest, that's basically it. Those are very major. It's like if you can govern the city of Chicago in Illinois, you can basically govern the entire state. In New York City, same thing. If you can govern New York City properly, you can govern the entire state of New York. If you can govern uh, Los Angeles and Cali can govern the entire state practically. I'm just saying that in general, if there's certain cities that are very hard to govern, there are a lot of populations in it, densely populated areas, and if you can do a pretty decent job, you can basically cover the entire state. You know what you're doing, you know what the state needs, rather than someone who doesn't really know too much at the local and state level. And Baraka knows at the local level what the state just needs, and it's more progressive with undocumented immigrants, the economy with affordable housing, uh, would going after Trump administration, suing them for sending ICE after people without due process, etc. Now, my other option, if you don't want Baraka, which I can be understanding, now these people are perfect. Keep that in mind. I would say Steve Fulop. The reason why I would say Fulop is because Fulop, I read some things he did in Jersey City, and he did a decent job, actually, pretty decent job in terms of public transportation. That's a big thing about him, is public transportation and improving it. And Philip has done a decent job in that because he actually has provided a lot of growth in Jersey City. Newcastle has done some development over the years, make it more livable and easy to live there. But Jersey City in particular has gone even the next step in a way. And they have really done a lot of good development. So Philip would be the second option. He's good, would focusing heavily on public transportation more, in my opinion, than any other candidate running for governor right currently for the state of New Jersey. He has a lot of his policies that read about affordable housing, the economy, which includes that's part of the economy. In general, looking to the whole Trump administration legal acts against immigrants have been pretty progressive and straight to the point. His website really goes in detail. You can download his policies in PDF document, and you can really go in detail about it. I'm not saying it's a perfect mayor for the city, Jersey City, just like the mayor of New York, Baraka is not. But Flop has done a pretty decent job, and it's very hard to run a city like uh, Newark and Jersey City. They're very tough. It's just like Chicago, Los Angeles, New York City, Philadelphia. Those are not easy places to be a mayor and run the city. It's very tough. And I think these two did a pretty decent job. So if you won the primary, I wouldn't be comparing either one, Baraka or Fulop. Um, you can start voting early in New Jersey by June 3rd in terms of in-person voting. So you can start right in June 3rd. So keep that in mind. Don't wait to the last minute. And the primary focus heavily on that. So those are just a little bit explanation I gave. I might make another video going more details about these candidates as I've spoken to a lot of people within my field who they think is best and read about policies. So it's very important to pay attention to the Senate judges right now. It matters if you live there. Really make sure you register and vote, even if you're unaffiliated, right? You're independent, but you can technically vote in person and choose a party that you want to be affiliated with. So if you want to vote for Democrat, you can choose on the day of for the primary election, and you can be Democrat, Republican, whatever the case may be. I recommend not voting for any Republican candidate. They're all Trump wannabes, all of them, and they're running for them. None of them are good. They're all BSs. They're not great. People will avoid voting for the even Democrat side for the state of New Jersey. Sweeney. So Steve Sweeney is not a good option. Why he's not? He's someone who's well known to be connected with Norcross, and that's a guy from what I've read and people explained to me also. Done a lot of shady businesses in New Jersey, especially in southern New Jersey, and that's where Sweeney tends to be more popular. And it's not really great for the general population of the people living in New Jersey. And Sweeney is known not to like union labors, the labor unions for state government employees. He's very against that, and he would definitely be able to remove remote days, telework days for state government employees. So that's not going to be a good thing. You're going to lose a lot of quality employees that provide crucial services to the general public. You do not want to do that. Remote days or telework days are really crucial to keep a quality employees for the long term. That's anywhere in the country, not just New Jersey, not just Cali, New York, etc. Just anywhere. Make your employees happy, especially public servants, and you're gonna be and people are gonna be able to receive better public service in a more efficient manner. It's just a really crucial fact that happens all the time. When you do the opposite, people get lack of service and more attitudes, and people quit, and then you have leftover crappy employees, and you don't want that, especially not in the government. Although it's going to have you're going to have this a whole situation with Trump administration where his entire cabinet is just made up incompetent people. You do not want that at the local state level, just like you don't want that in the federal level. So though I definitely avoid Sweeney. Uh, I also avoid uh, Josh Gottheimer. The reason why Josh Gottheimer, he's basically a light Republican. Same thing with Cheryl. She's a light Republican too, but he's even worse. He's someone who's been known to do a lot of shady stuff, maybe even worse than Sweeney, to be honest. And he's someone who has to go. He's technically been in Congress for a while. I want him to be replaced as well. But yeah, he's by someone. Someone could vote. It's situation like that also happening in Cali and New York a lot with the corruption there. He's a light Republican. Do not vote for him if you live in New Jersey. Avoid him, just like avoid Sweeney. Spiller, I read about him too. Avoid him. He's kind of taking advantage of a private funding campaign, kind of through the teachers union. He doesn't have much experience in government in more direct ways. He's okay candidate, but he's not gonna be that great. He's not gonna. He doesn't really understand New Jersey. I will argue as much as Baraka and Fulop do. They do a way better job. They run in, Baraka run in Newark, Fulop run in New Jersey. They both really understand how to run the state. They have much more experience. The rest of the people I mentioned, they really do not. Sherry is more for Congress. If replace her with someone more progressive would be better, but she can stay in Congress. But majority of people, besides Fulop and Baraka, the rest of them really have good understanding how to run the state. So that's my opinion. You guys can read the policies online. I'll probably talk about it eventually because it's really important. You don't want the state of New Jersey or Virginia to go red because that makes it stronger for wannabe Trumpies to take over and easier to make amendments to the Constitution, which just means a change to the Constitution in a way that will benefit fascism. You do not want that. That gives them more power. So definitely I will avoid that. So just reading through here, um, that's basically the way I've been talking about this article. I'm gonna scroll down. Uh, Technically, in the last election back in 2021, Phil Murphy didn't win, but he almost lost to Jack. And the reason why, less people voted during the second term of Phil Murphy than the first term. Keep that in mind. So it seems like, oh, people become more right wing in New Jersey. Just less people went out to vote. And the less people vote, the more likely that Republicans win. It happens every single time. Of course, there's states like Florida and Texas, Alabama that's going to be constantly, pretty consistently red, safe red states. But at one point, Florida used to be more of a swing state. If I'm not mistaken, Texas used to be more of a swing state. It's not impossible for them to become a swing state, even more, even potentially left leaning. Look at Pennsylvania. A lot of the Democrats, they're more light Republicans, but they're better than the wannabe Trumpy level Republicans. And people got to think, baby steps, incremental improvements is a way to go. Unfortunately, is you're gonna have a hard time even having someone at social democrat level like AOC and Bernie Sanders. That's unlikely. So you kind of have to work with what you got until you replace more of these people in the long term. But yeah, there's a good chance that Republicans will win this year if people don't vote. If as many people voted the first time for Phil Murphy again this time around, more likely than not, Republicans will lose. Preferably more, because you really want to make sure that you also vote for Democratic uh, state legislature people, meaning people going being part of the assembly or state senate. That's just as important. So make sure you don't vote for Republicans into the state legislature of any state you live in, because that would just backfire. It doesn't matter if you have a Democrat governor if the entire state legislature is all Republican. This has happened several times in many states. People vote for a Democrat for governor, but then they vote Republicans into the state legislature. And then what happens? The government can do crap, because how can the governor do something if he just gets vetoed? Just like in Congress, if there are enough Republicans and enough Democrats to vote against the president, they can veto they can nullify the veto of a governor. So even if a governor tries to veto a bill that they don't agree with, as long as there are enough state legislatures that agree to go against the governor's veto power, it will nullify it. This has happened in Congress, where there are enough of them to go against the president, they nullify the veto. You can do the same thing in the state legislature against the veto powers of governor. And so these things all matter. People really need to understand how politics and government work in the basic levels, because people think, I just need to have just a Democrat as governor and that's it. No, you need to have this whole state legislature be left leaning. Otherwise, no change is going to happen. And you're going to be stuck, and I don't know why nothing happens. And then you don't vote during the primary election where you can actually get someone more progressive, and then you're stuck with the status quo Democrats. People got to care about voting and really study, read what the policies are, and actually care. Otherwise, going to be complaining later, and you could have done something when you chose not to. So that's really my idea, my perspective for at least the New Jersey one. That's one I'm more understanding of. For Virginia one, I don't have too much opinions. I don't know as much. I don't know as many state government employees there that I had discussion with, unfortunately. So I don't know too much about situation in Virginia, but I would still recommend, just like doing New Jersey, to vote against Republicans as well. Don't vote for a Republican. So I just want to scroll down so you guys can read a little bit more. That's really it for the article. I'm gonna post this in my description. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and we can have a discussion, go further, and learn more from each other and how things work. A little bit less detail here, also the key points from this article. Lieutenant Governor Wilson Eros Shears, Republican from Virginia. No, former Representative Abigail Spainberger, Democrat, have primary competition. So Virginia's race in general election moved earlier than usual. So again, people, if you live in Virginia, you know what to do. Just like Spain, New Jersey, don't vote for Republican. They all want to be like Trump. That's the key. That's probably the main key points to take away from what I'm talking about. Do not vote for people who are part of a party that is it's all about fascism, aka the Republican Party. Be careful how you vote, and it can definitely make a big difference. But I'll reply to as many comments as I can. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Watching this TikTok, follow us on TikTok, and I hope everyone has a great day.